write the history books. We all know that classic, iconic image of Zeus hurling lightning bolts from Mount Olympus, right? But the truth of how he actually got that power is complicated, and frankly, it's incredibly violent. To figure out who is actually stronger, we have to go way, way back.
So picture this. In the very beginning, there was just an empty void known as chaos. Now, not destruction, mind you, but just this vast emptiness before creation even happened. From this incredible void emerged the absolute first primordial beings, Gaia, the earth, Uranus, the sky, and Tartarus, that dark abyss beneath reality. And then Gaia and Uranus created the Titans. Now, these guys weren't just ordinary beings. They were absolute colossal forces of nature. You had Oceanus, the titan of the world ocean, and Mnemosyne, the titaness of memory. Together, they ushered in this legendary golden age. It was a completely peaceful era, totally untouched by war, suffering, or death. For a time, the Titans honestly seemed absolutely unstoppable.
But as you probably guessed, that peace didn't last. The Titan reign itself was actually born out of intense violence. See, Uranus feared his own children so much that he locked them away, deep inside the earth. Naturally, Gaia wanted revenge. She forged this massive adamantine sickle and handed it straight to her youngest Titan son, Cronus. Cronus then uses it to literally ambush and overthrow his own father, claiming the entire cosmos for himself and officially kicking off the Age of the Titans. But almost immediately, the power went straight to his head. Cronus caught wind of a dark prophecy warning him that one of his own kids would overthrow him, exactly like he had just done to his father. So to stop that prophecy from coming true, Cronus went to some terrifying and frankly, completely bizarre lengths. Every single time his wife Rhea gave birth, this paranoid Titan king swallowed the newborn child. Whole, seriously. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, just one by one, the future rulers of Mount Olympus vanished right into the darkness of their dad's stomach. It's incredibly dark, sure, but it perfectly sets the stage for the absolute greatest rebellion in mythological history. And this brings us to the ultimate underdog story, Zeus's strategic master plan. Rhea was desperate to save at least one child, right? So she tricked her utterly paranoid husband into swallowing a literal stone wrapped in a blanket instead of baby Zeus. So Zeus gets to grow up in absolute secrecy. He's out there training, building up his power amid the storms and mountains. Then, when the time is exactly right, he comes back, confronts his father, and forces him to literally vomit out his fully grown siblings. Just crazy. But Zeus doesn't stop there. He knew he needed an edge against the Titans, so he goes down into Tartarus and frees the imprisoned Cyclops. In return, they forge these incredible divine weapons for the newly freed gods. Now, this dramatic rescue sparked the event known as the Titanomachy. And guys, this wasn't just some simple battlefield skirmish. This was a 10-year war of absolute, unadulterated cosmic destruction. We're talking about a conflict so violent that it shook the absolute foundations of the universe. The new generation was officially challenging the old guard for total supremacy over existence itself. What we essentially have here is a true David versus Goliath scenario. On one side, you have the Titans, Cronus, the master strategist, Atlas with his totally unstoppable strength, and Hyperion bringing celestial fire. Their core identity, they were primordial, they were massive, and they were practically unstoppable. But on the other side, you have the gods, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, and Demeter. Sure, they weren't quite as gigantic, but they were incredibly intelligent, highly specialized, and extremely strategic. So when we really break down who was actually stronger, it totally comes down to a clash of styles. The Titans had raw, primordial strength. Just in terms of sheer physical scale, they were vastly superior. I mean, Atlas literally held up the sky. Oceanus encircled the entire world. They felt way less like individual people and a lot more like walking natural disasters. And they were so physically unkillable that even after losing, most of them couldn't be destroyed. They could only be locked away in Tartarus, leaving behind this eternal fear factor. But the gods? The gods had intelligence. Zeus formed brilliant strategic alliances. He actually freed imprisoned monsters to fight on his side, and the gods adapted. Simply put, they fought smarter. And a huge part of fighting smarter really came down to the arms race. The gods utilized those newly forged divine weapons from the Cyclopes. And these were massive game changers. Zeus suddenly weaponized lightning itself with explosive thunderbolts. Poseidon is wielding a trident that can literally shake the earth and command the oceans. Hades gets a helm of invisibility, letting him just move around completely unseen. These highly specialized tools completely neutralize that sheer size and raw power advantage the Titans had. But here is where the Olympians truly cemented their victory. They actually mastered something the Titans never even grasped: human civilization. Even if the Titans were physically larger, the gods integrated themselves deeply into daily human life. Think about it. People prayed to Zeus for rain, they prayed to Poseidon for safe sea voyages, and they looked to the gods for divine order. By becoming absolutely essential to the daily survival and the worship of humanity, the gods totally won the long game. They secured a lasting influence that completely outlived those primordial giants. Okay, so let's count down our ultimate cosmic power ranking. We're combining mythology, influence, fear factor, and raw power here. Starting off at number 10, we have Hyperion, the titan of heavenly light. Coming in at 9, the physically imposing Atlas, strong enough to hold up the heavens for eternity. 8 is Poseidon, the master of storms and earthquakes. 7 is Hades, ruling the realm of the dead themselves. At 6, we have the Titan king Cronus, the guy who defeated Uranus and ruled the universe for ages. Breaking right into the top 5 is Typhon. Technically, he's a monstrous storm titan, but he was so unbelievably powerful that even Zeus was terrified of him. And at number 4, we have Gaia, the living earth herself and the mother of both the titans and the monsters. Now, breaking into the top 3, we have the king of Olympus himself, Zeus. As the absolute master of lightning and divine order, he successfully overthrew his father, commanded the skies, and established a reign that literally shaped human civilization. He is, without a doubt, the ultimate victor of the Titanomachy. But sitting right above Zeus at number 2 is chaos. Remember chaos from the very beginning of our explainer? This is that vast, incomprehensible, primordial void from which absolutely all existence, titans, gods, mortals, the whole universe itself first emerged. You simply cannot overpower the very fabric from which everything is born. So if Zeus is number 3, and the infinite void of chaos is number 2, what on earth could possibly be ranked at number 1? We're talking about a power that was so absolute, so totally unyielding, that even the mighty king Zeus himself lived in sheer fear of it. This creates a massive paradigm shift in how we view all these ancient myths. The ultimate power in the ancient world wasn't a titan, it wasn't an Olympian, and it definitely wasn't about raw strength or clever weapons. It was fate, the Moirai, the 3 shadowy figures who weave the literal threads of destiny. They ruled over absolutely everyone. Greek mythology makes it super clear that destiny entirely eclipses all physical and divine strength. Real power didn't ultimately come from giant muscles or throwing lightning bolts. It came from the pre-written script of destiny that not even the highest gods could rewrite. So, I'll leave you with this final, incredibly powerful thought for today's explainer. Gods fall, titans fall, fate remains. It really makes you wonder why these incredible stories have survived for thousands of years, doesn't it? Well, perhaps it's because humanity is still grappling with this exact same question today. Knowing that destiny outlasts